okay, to the first resistor. With the increase of voltage, initially he observed current also increases linearly up to some 10 volts. Okay, and there the current is 1 ampere. Okay, later if the V is greater than 10 volts here for this part now, from here afterwards, he observed that the graph came parallel to the voltage axis like this. Okay, this is the observation what he observed when some variable source is connected across the first resistor. Means it is the graph he observed for the first one. And he took some other resistor here. It is R2, again connected one source. By changing the potential, how the current changes in the second resistor, he observed like this. Okay, this is the graph related to the second resistor. And this is the current. And he observed here the current initially changes with the voltage non-linearly like this. Okay, up to some 15 volts, whereas the current here is 1 ampere. And afterwards here, even though you keep the voltage constant, current changes like this, means it is almost vertical. Okay, what he observed. Now these two resistors from the two VI characteristics are then connected in series. I don't know whether they are ohmic or non-ohmic. He gave some VI characteristic there from the fundamental concept of ohmic and non-ohmic. Okay, and here he connected it to some source. Okay, variable source. Applied voltage is V. First question, if V applied voltage is less than 25 volts, okay, what happens to the resistances R1 and R2? If V is equals to 25 volts, okay, what will be R1 plus R2? And if V is greater than 25 volts, okay, what happens again R1 and R2 to R1 and R2? Okay, this is one question, Anna. Here, my idea is, initially I know nothing about the resistances R1 and R2. That's why, okay, here what I see, till from 0 volts to 10 volts in the first graph, and from 0 volts to 15 volts here in the second graph. Okay, how to find the resistance I observe now. Okay, since it is a straight line, that too, this is not VI graph, IV graph, the slope in the first graph, slope means actually di by dv. Okay, here this is the slope. That slope actually gives 1 by resistance for us. Why? Because according to the formula V is equals to IR, the slope I by V is 1 by R. Okay, so here generally the slope gives 1 by resistance, and from here to there the slope is constant, it is a straight line. So slope is constant means I can say R1 is equals to constant, okay, till you increase the voltage up to 10 volts. Okay, for this part I extracted something there. So if you come to the second one here, okay, from 0 to 15 volts, if you take a tangent here, the slope is gradually increasing. So here slope means di by dv, which is the slope that is increasing, okay, in this non-linear graph. Slope is increasing means that slope gives 1 by r, okay. So 1 by r here, okay, which is the slope. So 1 by r is increasing. That implies I can say r is decreasing. Okay. So what can I conclude from 0 to 10 volts in first graph? I can say R1 is equals to constant, and from 0 to 15 volts in the second graph, okay, I can say here R2, the resistance in the second graph decreases. So here the total voltage, if it is less than 10 volts and this is less than 15 volts, total voltage across here is actually V1 plus V2 in series. You know that. So total voltage is equals to V1 plus V2. Okay. Up to 10 volts, V1 is less than 10, V2 is less than 15. So by adding those two, it is less than 10 volts and it is less than 15 volts. That implies, what can we say? V is less than 25 volts. Okay. V is less than 25 volts means there he is asking what happens to R1 and R2. Okay, answer is over. If V is less than 25 volts, R1 remains constant. Okay, and even though if they ask what is that R1, we can say since the slope is constant, here slope is equals to 1 by 10 from this graph. So R1 is equals to 10 ohms. Straight away we can say from the first. But of course, there we can't say. Why? Because R is continuously changed. So we can say what happens to R1. R1 remains constant, it is 10 volts, and R2 here decreases. Okay, this is the answer for the first question. And I think second one very easy, you can say. Okay, if V is 25 volts, okay, there you have to understand now. For the second question, here these two are in series, R1 and R2. Okay, and here when total is 25 means it should be 10 and that should be 15. Total 25. Okay, maximum this is 10 volts and that is 15 volts. If I take V1 is equals to 10 and V2 is equals to 51, so that V is equals to 25 volts. Okay, here at V is equals to 10 volts, the current is 1 ampere. And here also when V is equals to 15 volts, it is 1 ampere. So altogether the current will be same 1 ampere. So directly you can say the R1 plus R2 value is equals to how much? Since they are in series, you know total resistance R1 plus R2 is equals to V by I. That is equals to 25 by 1. That of course, that is 25 volts. 25 volts. Okay. And here, if V is greater than 25, okay, then third question, or even though you have some doubt in the second question, you can ask one doubt here. Okay, total he said 25. That doesn't mean V1 is equals to 10, V2 is equals to 15. Okay, 25 means even you can write total potential V1 plus V2, it may be 9 and that may be 60. Okay, here if it is 9 volts, okay, I don't know the current now. Here this is non-linear, I don't know anything from there. Okay, but you can say the current from it. Okay, what here if it is 9 volts, since the resistance is constant, you can say the current here. Okay, total. I'm explaining the second one. If you have some doubt, sir, why don't I take it is 9 and that is 16, sir? Again, so that the total voltage is 25. Why should I take 10 and 15 only? If you raise one question, for that I am giving the explanation. Suppose if you take it is 9 volts on the first, according to your doubt. Okay. Then here the current will be, according to my Ohm's law, V is equals to I into R. The resistance means even though the voltage is less than 10, okay, then I can say the resistance is constant. It is a straight line passing through origin. That resistance already I found 10. So it is 10 ohms. Then I is equals to, I can say 0.9 amperes. Okay. So you can say the current through that circuit. This may be for the second case, the current will be 0.9 amperes. Okay. Current is 0.9 amperes means there, what can I say here? That is less than 1 ampere, you may get somewhere here, and that at that instant, you don't know the voltage, but total is 25 means that is 16 nano. Look at there. If I is 0.9 in the graph, you are not getting 16. Why? Because second part is afterwards the voltage is not increased. Afterwards the voltage remains same. Okay, for the second resistor, it is not going beyond 50. So maximum only I have to take 15 nano. Okay, so your assumption, if you take like this, don't argue, sir, 25 by 0.9, I will get different values, sir. Actually, what your assumption is absolutely wrong now. That's why here you can't assume. Okay, then you may argue, sir, not 15, sir. Suppose if I take it is 14. Okay, if it is 14, yes, less than 15 for the second resistor is possible now. If it is 14, total 25 means it should be 11 volts. Sir, why don't I take like this? If not, whatever my assumption, first assumption I understood, sir, that was wrong. So suppose if I take my second assumption, why should not I consider the two potentials like this? Yeah, you may consider. 14 I can't deny none, that is possible. Okay. At that instant, here what he is saying, the potential on the second resistor is 11 volts. 11 means you are going beyond 10. Okay, beyond 10, here potential increases, so nothing wrong in that. I am going to 11 volts here. Okay, but look at the current is 1 ampere. Okay, the current is 1 ampere, but at 11 volts, here in the second graph, I am not getting 1 ampere. Okay, that's why here problem is, if you consider it is more than 10 or there more than 15, both are from the given graph, they are not possible now. Okay, why? Because since they are in series, the problem is same current should flow through the two resistors. In series, we know current should be constant. Whereas through R1 at 11 volts, it is 1 ampere means, okay, to get total 25, it should be 14. At 14, I am not getting 1 ampere. So that assumption is wrong. That's why you should not assume it is more than 10 and that is less than 15. So there is no other go. I have to assume the voltage across the first is 10, the voltage across the second is 15 to get V is equals to 25. That's why there will be only one answer, Nana. R1 plus R2 is equals to V by I, that is equals to 25 amperes. Okay. And if you come to third question, where V is greater than 25, Okay. Greater than 25 means any value you can assume, like your first wrong assumption there. Okay. Suppose here on the second, to get more than 25, okay, here I can't take more than 15 here. So the maximum value here is 15 only. Okay. That's why here V2 should be either less than or equal to 15. Okay. If it is less than 15 nana, problem again I said. Okay. What here, if suppose you assume something nana, it is 14 volts. Okay. And here the applied voltage more than 25 means say 26 volts. Applied voltage. Then it should be how much? 12 volts. Total should be 26. 12 volts means here more than 10. More than 10, the current remains constant. Okay. Current remains constant means current through it should be 1 ampere. But no need to explain. If the voltage is 14, current is not 1 ampere. Okay. That's why here there is no other go to you. Then here there is no other go for me. I have to assume it is 15, okay, and it is 26 means it is 11, okay, and here problem is the voltage is 11 volts, okay, the current is fixed at 1 ampere, more than 10. That's why here the current should be always 1 ampere when V is greater than 25. Okay. That is 1 ampere means, sir, you fixed here the voltage is 15 volts, sir. Okay. But the problem is the current is 1 ampere means there what happens to the resistance, sir? If you see, okay, I can say, Nana, even though the potential here increased, the current remains constant. Means according to the Ohm's law, okay, across first resistor I am saying, Nana. First resistor, okay, when V is greater than 10 volts, means V1 is greater than 10 volts, that is 11 volts there, okay. The current remains constant means according to V is equals to IR formula, I should be constant even though the voltage is increased. I is constant means it should be appeared like V is directly proportional to R. V is directly proportional to R means here V1 you are increasing by increasing the total voltage. V1 you are increasing means R1 increases. Okay. So R1, what happens to R1? Previously, if the V1 is 10 volts, I found R1 is constant. But when applied voltage is more than 10 volts, I got R1 here increases. Okay. And what happens to R2? Okay, if you ask, there the voltage is fixed, Nana. Voltage is fixed means here that is 15 volts only I have to take. Okay, to get 1 ampere current. So here for that 1 ampere, the voltage is 15 means voltage is here fixed. Okay, V2 is constant. And I through the both, I is also constant. Then what can I say? According to the formula, V is equals to IR. Here, I is constant, V2 is constant. Then what is R2? Straight away it can say R2 is constant. So look at here. Previously R1 is constant. Now R2 is becoming constant. Okay. Previously R2 decreases, but here R1 is not decreased, R1 is increased. Okay, is it clear, Nana? Here, what is the current? From this concept, you said I is equals to 0. I is equals to 0 through one material. No current is passing through the dielectric. You are agreeing means I say its resistance, you have to assume it to be infinite. Okay, what will be the resistance of dielectric if I say? Then since I is equals to 0, even though some potential difference is applied, so according to Ohm's law, even though it is some finite value, you are getting I is equals to 0 means R should be infinity. It tends to infinity. Okay, R is infinity means according to the formula rho L by A is tending to infinity means the length of that part is not infinity, area of cross section is not infinity. So I have to accept that from this equation, the resistivity tends to infinity. Means you are saying that the reciprocal resistivity is conductivity. Conductivity is 0. So generally we take, okay, means in the charges and fields chapter, knowingly or unknowingly, there we accepted that the conductivity of dielectric is 0. Okay, that's why there we calculated only charge, not the current. Okay, but now we entered into current electricity now. In this chapter, I am saying that here the conductivity of the dielectric is not tending to 0. It has some value, and that conductivity, if I assume at the two ends as sigma 1 and sigma 2, okay, where sigma 2 is greater than sigma 1, conductivity values I am saying. Okay, sigma 2 is greater than sigma 1. Okay, that conductivity linearly increases when you go from left hand to right hand. While going towards that, the sigma value is linearly increasing depending upon the distance. Okay, means he gave there some non-zero conductivity. Some non-zero conductivity means through this potential, due to this potential difference, surely some current flows through that dielectric. Okay, at that instant, suppose the capacity here given some value, and that conductivity values at the two ends and the relation given here, including the dielectric constant A. Okay, then first, what will be the resistance of that dielectric? If they ask, then we can interrelate the remaining questions now. Okay, here for that type of question, if it is unknown in your exam, how you start, Nana? You should get this type of ideas, Nana. So here from the left end, we start by taking x is equals to 0. This is actually distance between the two plates. Here x is equals to d. This is the distance. Okay. And in the middle, somewhere I am assuming one small element, some element here like this. Okay, this is one small element of length, small length, as usual dx. Here I took 0. That's why I take here, it is assumed at a distance of x from the left hand. Okay. So at a distance x, if I know the sigma value here in this strip, then directly I can write the resistance of that part dr is equals to rho L by A. Rho means 1 by sigma. Resistivity and conductivity both are inversely proportional. So here conductivity is given. So instead of rho, I am writing 1 by sigma. Okay. What will be the length of this part? That already I assumed it as dx. Okay. Between the plates, Nana, you are assuming one element here means the area of cross section of that one. I think it will be appeared like this, Nana. It is of length dx. Okay, this is of length. This is the strict I assumed here. Okay, and what will be? It is actually three-dimensional figure, Nana. Okay, length dx, and it is the area of cross section. It is the area means it is the thickness dx, and it is the length, and it is the breadth. Okay, so for this area of cross section, either length into breadth or length into breadth, anything. Okay, that area exactly equals to area of each plate, Nana, on both sides. So generally they give the area of each plate. That area is constant. Here area of each plate, that is constant. That area I take it as A. If they give their square plates, then I write L into L. Nothing. If they are given as circular plates, I take here A is equal. So then total model will be changed. If they are rectangular plates, I will take length into breadth. Likewise, I try to substitute the area of cross section here now. Okay, that is area of each plate. So only one thing, if you want R, just you have to integrate this part. Okay, before integrating, we have to substitute sigma. That sigma straight away not given. Sigma is directly proportional to x, means linearly increases. Okay, correct. Linearly increases means sigma is equals to some constant into x I have to write. That constant he did not give here. Okay. For that generally what we write here sigma 1, there sigma 2 means for the total length of D, the change in sigma we are finding out sigma 2 minus sigma 1. Okay. So here what we write, this is D sigma, change in the value of sigma for the length D. Per unit length, generally we write this is equals to sigma 2 minus sigma 1 by D. It is appeared like D sigma by dx. Okay. So D sigma we can write here as sigma 2 minus sigma 1 by D into dx. Yes, correct. But what we require, Nana, their problem is here. We want the sigma at a distance x. Okay, at a distance x means here the dx value, if you change from 0 to x, means x minus 0. The d sigma value here changes from sigma 1 to sigma. 0 to x, sigma value changes from sigma 1 to sigma. Means change in the value is sigma minus sigma 1. This is d sigma. Okay, for a distance from 0 to x. Okay, at 0 sigma is sigma 1. At x the sigma is sigma. That sigma only I want here to substitute. So I think you got some idea here. Dx by sigma is, I am going to write by taking this one to the other hand, that is sigma 1 plus sigma 2 minus sigma 1 by d into x. Okay, of course, into denominator area is there, that I take it out. Okay, now you can integrate, Nana. This is the resistance. Okay, so the resistance of dielectric here will be, by integrating, I am going to get 1 by A into, I think you know this integration, log sigma 1 plus sigma 2 minus sigma 1 by D into x. Okay, divided by here, divided by sigma 2 minus sigma 1 by D. Okay, I think no need to explain the integration, that you know. And here limits. Okay, you are finding out the resistance in the limits of x is equals to 0 to x is equals to D. So limits are 0 to D. That's simple. You have to substitute what are the limits. Then you are getting R is equals to, here you will get D by D, Nana, taken to the numerator. D by A into sigma 2 minus sigma 1 here. Okay, sigma 2 minus sigma 1 into log, first upper limit is x is d, so you will get a sigma 1 plus sigma 2 minus sigma 1 by d into d, d cancel, you will get sigma 2 minus sigma 1. Sigma 2 minus sigma 1 means sigma 1 get cancelled. So numerator you will get sigma 2 none after substituting the limits. Okay. Upper limit minus means divided by here. By putting x is equals to 0, you will get log sigma 1. So log sigma 2 minus log sigma 1 is log sigma 2 by sigma 1. This is the resistance. What you thought. Okay. There in that question. So after getting the resistance, okay, first question is find out the resistance. That part is over. If I ask what is the value of current through this capacitor, now you can say the answer. Applied potential is constant. Total resistance I found. Therefore, what is the current through the dielectric? If I ask, okay, then I write V by that R value I substitute here. That is the current through the dielectric, right? And here, third one, if you go deep into still, okay, generally what we say, if you maintain some potential difference here, then this potential difference gives some energy in the medium between the two plates. That energy, you know, energy stored between the two plates of capacitor in the form of potential energy, that you know, half C V square. C is Kc into V square. Okay, that is the energy stored, right? But here problem is, if like in charges and fields chapter, the sigma value is tending to 0, that's why no energy is wasted, whatever the energy stored here, like closed gates of a reservoir now. Total whatever you are supplying, of course here half CV square is wasted while sending the charge to the two plates, and finally half is stored in between the two plates, okay, in this gap, means in the dielectric. That is the energy stored. Like it is one reservoir appeared like a reservoir with closed gates. Closed gates means no water is flowing. No water is flowing means here my explanation is no current is flowing through the circuit. But problem is it is appeared like opened gates reservoir now. Okay, for the reservoir the gates are opened. Why? Because current is flowing. Current is flowing means whatever the capacitor means the reservoir trying to store, that energy is not stored here. Okay, because it has some resistance. Resistance means opposition. Due to resistance, here when some current flows through the resistor, the energy wasted across the resistor means wasted. It is not there in our physics. Okay, whatever the energy there wasted transformed into heat energy. So some part of energy is transformed into heat now. So here, how much amount of heat generated H? Okay, in that if they ask, yeah, now you can say that heat energy after certain time is equals to, you can use either V square by R into T, VAT, or V I square R into T. Why? Because we know everything. We know I, we know V, we know R. Okay, why? Because previously we calculated. Anything you can use. Okay, so after certain time, what will be the finally energy stored in the capacitor in between the plates? If they ask, I say after certain time, this part of energy is wasted. This is the stored. So remaining energy stored in the capacitor is equals to, I can say, U stored half CV square means into K with the dielectric minus H gives the energy stored in the capacitor. Okay. Likewise, you may interlink what the charges and fields chapter and current electricity also now in this type of models. Okay. So in this question, Nana, suppose if I ask what is the current through each branch and what is the total current delivered by the cell. Okay. Such type of questions to find out. First of all, they have to give the EMF of the cell, E. And he has to mention whether there is some internal resistance or that internal resistance is zero. He has to mention. Okay. Then I think we can solve very easily. Why? Because it is appeared like a perfect Wheatstone bridge. Okay. Why? Because P by Q is equals to R by S. Happily, we can remove this 6 ohm and we can find the effective resistance, and we can find out by knowing the E and R values what will be the total current. If they ask, we can say very easily. And what will be the current through the branches also, we can say all these. These two are equal, those two are equal, and here the current through 6R is 0. We can say very easily. Okay. But I am not asking that easy question. Here, I don't know. This part also you know or not. In this circuit, after connecting, in the total network, okay, the power delivered by the network is maximum in the circuit. P is maximum. Okay. Then here my question is, what will be that maximum power? P max is equals to how much? P is maximum in the circuit. What will be the power maximum? But problem is internal resistance we have to find out, Nana. That is not given, but it is not equal to 0. Okay, means you have to say the final answer in terms of only E. Okay, P, that power maximum, you have to say like using the formula V square by R, like E square by something like 2, or E square into 2, or E square by root 2, like we have to say the answer. Okay, here for this question, the current becomes maximum when the external resistance, effective external resistance should be equal to total effective internal resistance. Okay, this is the concept what we learned from the mixed grouping of cells. Okay, so same thing here. He is asking power maximum. Power is maximum means in my question, first of all, I should be maximum. Okay, I is maximum when from this concept I learned total external resistance should be equal to total internal resistance. Okay, the difference between the two here is there is only one external resistance, many internal resistances are there. But here there is only one internal resistance, many external resistances are there. Okay, quite contra. Okay, so here you are seeing, but concept we know, total effective external resistance is equals to total internal resistance. Total internal resistance, here I took only one cell. Only one cell means total internal resistance is R only, not NR by M. One row, one cell in a row. Means N is equals to 1, M is equals to 1. That's why total internal resistance I am getting R. So according to that concept, here I should be maximum when the total internal resistance is equals to total external. Okay, since it is Wheatstone bridge, you know that here there is no use of this resistor. These two are in series, R plus 2R, that is 3R, and 2R and 4R, they are in series, 6R, they are in parallel. 1 by 3R plus 1 by 6R. This is nothing but 2 by 6R plus 1 by 6R. This is nothing but 6R by 3, which is 2R. Okay, so here the effective resistance, what external effective resistance is 2R. So small r should be equals to 2R. Okay, small r equals to 2R means directly you can say here. Okay, what is the current through the circuit? Okay, current through the circuit here, I is equals to total potential difference by total resistance in the circuit. Total resistance means external plus internal. Okay. Total external resistance 2R plus R is also 2R. So I is equals to, I am getting how much, Nana? E by total 2R plus R external is equals to, that is total 2 into small r, that is 2 into 2R, that is 4R. Now you can say this is I max, therefore power max. Okay, if they give each R is equals to say 1 ohm, then you can say the answer in the circuit. Power max is equals to I square into R, that is E square by 16 R square into R. R means here total external resistance. Now, total external resistance is here, this is 2R. So into 2R, then you are getting this is E square by 8R. Okay, that is what the maximum power. Okay, here he gave R is equals to 1 ohm, therefore your answer power maximum is equals to E square by 8. Okay, so if the circuit is given like with the 3 bulbs 160 and 60, if possible try to find out here either the potential output potentials across the bulbs or the currents through each branch, any one method now. Okay, and here generally they have to give some out means the printed voltage, Nana, that is also not given. That printed voltage here, suppose all the bulbs are manufactured in India, the Indian voltage generally we know. Okay, let it be some V, Nana. Indian voltage is 220 volts, Nana. Okay, so here we are assuming all the 3 bulbs are manufactured in India. That is, let it be some 220 volts. Means let it be some V, Nana. Okay, means if you see the power and the voltage, okay, you can find out the resistance of each bulb now. Okay, so R1 first bulb I can write using the formula V square by T. From the formula P is equals to V square by R. So I can write R1 is equals to V square by 100 now. Similarly, I can write R2 is equals to, here the voltage is V square by P2. Let it be V square by 60. R3 is equals to, this is again V square by P3, that is equals to V square by 6. These are the resistors. Means the bulbs motor we are converting into what general the resistance circuit. Resistors in series here, 2 resistors like R1 and R2. They are connected in parallel to the third resistor R3, and it is connected to some 250 volts without internal resistance. Okay. In this case, if I ask what is the current through this branch, what is the current through the other branch, straight away we can say none. Okay. Suppose the total RLs here, sir, these two are in series, sir. So across these two, the total potential difference will be 250, sir. So total is 250 across R1 and R2, sir. One method. Okay, total is 250 across R1 and R2. We can say V1 is to V2, sir. Very easy. What will be the potential difference appeared on the across the first bulb after connecting, and what will be the PD across the second bulb after connecting. Okay, so V1 is to V2, since they are in series, V1 is to V2, we write it as R1 is to R2. Okay, R1 is to R2 means I will get here 1 by 100 is to 1 by 60 after cancelling V square. That is nothing but 25 or 23, that it is 3 is to 5 I am getting now. V1 is to V2. Okay, by that even I can say the potential V1 also. Why? Because total is 250. So V1 I can say 3 parts of total 8 parts into 250. This is V1. Total voltage here across these two ends, which is 250. And in the same way, V2 I can write here, V2 is equals to 5 parts, 5 by total number of parts 8 into 2. Okay. And the voltage across third one, no need to say. Straight away there is only one resistor. Across that resistor again maintain 250 volts only. So straight away I can say V3 is equals to across the third resistor 250 volts. Okay. I know the V1, V2, V3 now. Okay. Suppose these voltages in exam, okay, in mains exam or advanced exam, if they don't give none, these voltages are called as printed voltage. This is the voltage of the source to which they are connected. Printed voltages suppose not given, okay, there we have to take the printed voltages are equal to the connected voltage. Okay. If they give the printed voltage like 110 volt, 110 volt, 110 volt, then we have to substitute those values only here. That's why I explained with V square now. Okay. Since in this problem, the V is not given, that V, if required, I can take it as 250. Okay. Now look wisely, Nana. Actually, the bulb is manufactured to connect at 250 volts. But you connected at not 250, at 250 into 3 by 8. Second bulb also same problem. It is about to actually manufacture, okay, means supposed to connect at 250 volts. But you connected it at 250 into 5 by 8, lesser voltage. This is also lesser voltage. Third bulb is also supposed to connect at 250 volts. You connected yet 250 volts. So happy, third bulb will give. Supposed to connect at 250, you connected at 250, both are equal, hence it delivers the same power. Okay. Third one, what will be the power delivered, P dash? Okay. Delivered is equals to, power delivered is equals to, I'm not writing the full word now, full sentence. That power delivered is exactly these two voltages, printed voltage and connected voltages are equal. Hence, this is exactly 60 volts. 60 watts. Whereas come to these two, the printed values and the values are not equal. So we have to find out what will be the power delivered by the first bulb. Okay. What do you know if you ask? I know V1, I know R1. Okay. So better I go with the formula P1 dash is equals to V square by R formula. Means V1 square by R1. Okay. V1 square means how much voltage is developed across the first bulb. I calculated. It is not equal to 250. I am getting here V square means 3 3s are 9 by 64 into 250 square. Okay. By R1. By R1 is by V square by 100. This is R1. Okay. Since V value is not given, I already told you take the printed voltage is equals to the connected voltage. So V square get cancelled. P1 dash you are getting not equal to 100. 100 into 9 by 64. Approximately I am calculating 9 ones are 9 sevens are 7 point, of course 111 recurring you will get. So it is 100 by 7.1 I am getting P1 dash. Not 100. Okay. And P2 dash in the same way, quickly if you solve, that is V square by R1, that is 25 by 64 into 250 square by R2. R2 is V square by 60. Okay. So here V square 250 square get cancelled. That is 25 by 64 into 60. Okay. This is approximately you are getting 25 2s are 50, 140. 140 means 25 5s are 125 till 150, that is 2.56. This is 60 by 2.56. P2 dash. This is 100 by 7.1. Okay. So now you can say which bulb will glow more brightly and more dimly here. More dim, more bright. You can say now. Out of the three values you observe, P3 dash is highest. Okay. Compared to this one, this is approximately 60 by 3 means 20. Whereas this is 7 means you are not even getting 20 nana here. This is, I think, less than 20. Whereas this is 320 is a greater than 20. Okay. So here, surely this is the weakest. This is the this is occupying the second place, and this is delivering highest power. So I can say P1 dash is less than P2 dash is less than P3 dash. So which one will glow more brightly? P3 is more. That's why third bulb will glow more brightly. And luckily here, which one will glow more dimly here? If they ask, P1 dash is the weakest one. 100 watts bulb will glow more weakly. Okay, this is one model they asked. Okay, previously they asked this type of model. Then you can solve even the combination also. You can't say straight away, Nana. Okay, understood, Rabuji?